Hi everybody, it's time for the topic of the week. This week I want to talk about nuts and seeds, how many you can have, and how eating too many of them can cause weight gain. So I discovered this my second round when I was in phase 3 and I was introducing nuts. I love nuts, they're so good for us. I'm going to go into a bunch of detail about the different nuts and how what they are for our bodies and how good they are, because they're just loaded with vitamins and minerals and all sorts of omega-3s, and they help lower cholesterol and help lose weight. They're just so good for us. They're a good source of protein, a good source of fiber. I can just go on, but I want to keep this vlog a little bit shorter, so I'm going to do that on the blog in the text. So you'll have to check that. But anyway, I learned in my second round when I introduced almonds and walnuts that I was gaining weight, and it wasn't a large gain, but I did notice a gain. So I made myself this little guide, and I went by this guide, what I knew my body could do, and I've shared it with other people, and people come back and say, oh my gosh, that's perfect. I'm no longer gaining. And so I'm going to share that guide with you as well. And basically what I did was I came up with all the nuts and the seeds, because seeds are so good for you too, and I'll go into that on the blog as well. So I believe you should have seeds every day. Number one favorite is flax seeds, and you can do ground flax seeds. I also like sesame seeds, and I throw them on my salad or mix them in my protein shakes, whatever. So there's all kinds of things you can do with seeds, but I believe you should have seeds every day. So, and I also believe that you should have beneficial fats every day, and these nuts and seeds fall under that category. So, but if you have too many, including avocados, then you're going to gain. So you'll have to check my guide and see if it works for you, and then we'll go from there. But I just want to stress a couple of things. One, I want to stress is I believe in raw nuts. The reason I believe in raw nuts is because when you heat it or roast it at high temperatures, you are basically destroying all the beneficial oils that are in the nuts. So it's really important that you eat raw nuts. The other thing is that you don't go to get like the packaged nuts, because those are usually roasted, and they're usually roasted in canola oil, which I'm totally against. So I always buy my nuts at Sprouts in the bins, and I always buy raw. I also buy my almonds at Sam's Club or Costco, and my walnuts, and I always buy them raw. So make sure you buy and eat raw, because otherwise you're destroying all the healthy oils that you're trying to get in. The other thing is in this little food guide and considering is peanut butter and almond butter. So they all have to be categorized into the beneficial fats and the oils that come out of these products. So basically, I put all of these different items, seeds, nuts, all of that in my guide, and then I figured out how many ounces a day I could have. So I am doing 4 servings of different nuts and seeds. And so when I have a trail mix, let's say, I want to make sure I'll probably have 2 ounces of nuts in my trail mix, and then I'll have still maybe a teaspoon or a tablespoon of flax seeds in my shake, and maybe an avocado or a little bit of an avocado, not a whole avocado, and then I figure out, okay, that's my daily limit, and when I go over that, I know I'm going to gain. And one of the reasons why I'm talking about this is because there have been so many people lately on Facebook, on support group, sending me messages via YouTube or Facebook, and they're gaining. And one of the things they're gaining from is they're eating that flaxseed bread. I did a cinnamon type flaxseed bread because I'm a huge believer in getting your flax seeds in. but you don't eat the whole loaf. And I forgot to tell you that in my vlog that I did, well over a year ago. I actually don't make it like that anymore because I don't believe in the microwave anymore. I've done a lot of research on microwaves. I read a lot in books on microwaves, and I think they're very harmful. So I think when you do this flaxseed bread or the cinnamon bread or whatever, mug cake, whatever you guys are calling it, when you put them in the microwave, what you're doing is you're destroying the nutrients. And I really came into this when my dad got cancer, and I found out my mom was putting the vegetables in the microwave. And I'm like, you know what? You are destroying 97% of the nutrients in vegetables when you put them in the microwave. So you're putting dad's asparagus in the microwave, and because you're supposed to eat asparagus every day, you know, when you have cancer, and you're putting it in the microwave, and then you're making him eat it, and it's not doing any good. So I did more research on it, and I really just do not do the microwave anymore. Drives my hubby crazy, so I'll do him, but not me. So anyway, aside from the whole microwave situation, because now I'll do the flaxseed with almond flour, and I'll make it in little muffin tins. But it still is really important that if you choose to use the microwave, you're choosing to make this bread, that you really, really watch your servings. I don't know that when I did this that I figured out how many calories. I'm sure I didn't, because this is just a hobby of mine. So I don't really go through a lot of work on figuring all the calories out for all the recipes that I give Shauna. But I just want to stress, don't eat the whole loaf. And excuse me. And so when you see my food guide, that'll better help you, and you can all figure out what works for you. If you are gaining from these items, I suggest that you follow my food guide to see if it works for you. And if you're finding that it's not working for you, because some people can eat all kinds of almonds or all kinds of walnuts and not gain, but most people will gain if they have too much. So you have to figure out what works for you, and I'm hoping that my food guide and the information that you'll find on the blog will be very helpful. So I'll see you again next week with the next topic or question of the week. Have a good weekend.